Hello, everybody. Welcome to Market Moves. I'm Jason, the Wizard of Ops, and with me, as always, is Dark Matter. Also, Jay. Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing great. We are rallying this morning. And before I forget, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Yes. Thank you, Joe.
We
Amazing.
forget that. Well, I forget it. I'm chronic at forgetting saying that. So,
Yeah, I made a promise after that one show. I forgot it. I have a sticky note here that I don't forget to say it.
I probably should get a sticky note. All right. Jay, what do you got?
Well, let's just jump in because there's a lot going on. As usual, Sunday evenings and overnight are not calm by any means. So let's jump right in. So just in terms of event catalysts for this week, today at 10:30 a.m., you've got, Fed Chair Powell speaking. He's like at a conference, but just be aware. I don't expect anything to come out of the ordinary, but never say never, right? Wiz, he might say something about oil prices and inflation. Who knows what he might say, but just be aware today he speaks. But then today or this week's biggest jobs data will come actually, I don't know if it's 4-3 because the market is closed 4-3, but this week is non-farm payrolls.
It is 4-3.
Okay, so it is on a day off of so Thursday should be even more exciting. So we do have non-farm payrolls. That's your biggest catalyst for the week. We do have JOLTS job openings on Tuesday, so that might give you a little bit of a hint in terms of the non-farm payrolls, but no earnings. I mean, Nike was the biggest company, I guess, if you would want to call it that, if you were following earnings. So Nike reports this week, but other than that, that's about it. Was any thoughts outside of obviously Iran and Trump? And I don't want to go there. I mean, obviously we got a rally out of some news over the weekend, but any thoughts? Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I have no idea. I mean, there was like a big drop I noticed upon the open, and then I opened it up this morning, and it's like, oh, it's green. Which is, I mean, we did over VIX quite a bit on Friday. I guess we'll talk about that a little bit. But another kind of macro thing to pay attention to is dollar USD JPY, because that reached 160. That's usually like a major red line in Japan. And I read that pretty much the whole BOJ is ready to hike rates. So just kind of be careful and keep an eye on that. I mean, I don't know how much, I don't know how much that's going to be overshadowed by oil prices. Because really markets have been, SPX has been inversely correlated to projected oil prices and oil futures. So on the long part of the curve too. So that's just kind of something to watch and keep in mind. But yeah, from the macro standpoint, it's kind of tougher as a Volland trader because there's definitely a correlation between, or inverse correlation between oil and equities right now. So while dealer positioning definitely helps because then you see how participants are positioned, you do have to pay attention to other things. So
yeah, and speaking of that, I mean, so the Tokyo Core CPI does report tonight at 7:30 p.m. So just FYI.
yeah.
So yeah, keep an eye out on that. So another exciting week, wide range, clearly here, and it's a shortened week. It is a holiday weekend this coming week. So do keep that in mind as you enter and exit your trades for the week. So let's just jump in. I mean, we did have news overnight. If you did miss it, Trump came out, hey, we're talking to Iran. We quickly held, 63.20. I mean, it was funny, like there was a statement. He came out like we're talking to Iran, and then like Financial Juice came out with another statement right after that, and he's like, "Yes, we're talking to Iran. It might go well or it might not." So we clearly just don't know what is going on.
Thanks
But
for narrowing it down. Really.
yes, yeah, like it's gonna go some way, I guess. So yeah, keep an eye out on that. I mean, in
Well, I
future,
think he said there was a regime change, and I guess he's referring to the Revolutionary Guard kind of basically taking over. So now it's
yeah. Which again, let's if that's our objective, then we don't have to send our troops. Then great, awesome.
I doubt it is.
I doubt it is too, but we can only imagine. We can only hope, right, Wiz? So what happened overnight is we landed right into a gamma support. So 6320 did hold. It was tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 times overnight on the 30-minute chart. If you want to take a look at that, so that's held. So that, to me, if you're a bear, you want more deterioration, you want to target 6250. Like, you now got to make your way up. So let me go into the new levels here, Wiz. So essentially, after kind of looking at the update overnight here, what we're looking at essentially is, if you're north of 6,400, you're supportive, in my opinion. So I think that becomes now my pivot on the week in terms of a bear bull kind of pivot there. But to the upside, you're pretty contained, right? We already, rejected 6440. That was the key critical level here. And then if you go above that, 6470, 75, and then 6500, those are your next big walls there. And there's some major walls up there as well that I would state. But Wiz, let me jump over into Volland here so we can actually pull up the charts and take a look at this. So we were negative before overnight action on the weekly Vanna. We still are negative if you're taking a look at that. And then in terms of our key levels from a Vanna structure, 6475 clearly stands out here. You've got 6390, 6400, and then, things really get nifty here if 6375 breaks down, and then, 6300 and 6275, other two key levels where volatility could trigger high or get compressed depending on what the news is at that point. But Wiz, I'll pause. Any thoughts on Vanna here?
Yeah. So what's the JPM collar? That's to 6475, right?
Yeah, if I keep going and looking at this,
you can look at it. I'll talk about it. So
yes, you're correct. Yep.
The big thing tomorrow is those two negative Vanna strikes disappear, right? And this bounce I honestly, I need to see 6,500 broken before tomorrow in order to see anything sustained to the upside. And as you said, that's a pretty big wall. I think the JPM collar there is 60. Did you confirm that? Or
it is. You're at 6475. Yep.
Yeah, and I think that 6,500 is also a long put. So I do think that we can pop a little bit to that area, but it needs to really be broken in order to see like a sustain, like additional rally. If it isn't broken, I like between those two strikes. If we get between those two strikes and we close tomorrow, that is, it's basically neutral. One of them will be big positive, one of them will be big negative. And we could just kind of hit a wall and then come back down. I do think, there are a lot of macro items that are sketchy, right? Like the between the Iran war, that's not necessarily bullish. Japan is not necessarily bullish, and jobs, it's probably not that going to be that bullish. So, yeah, I don't think that there's anything really that can push us over 6,500. I mean, it could just be oversold markets. The other thing too to note, On Friday, I thought we might have had a vol event, but then I did the manual calculation because I saw that the vol event wasn't logged on the table.
Mhm.
So after hours, again, VIX plummeted. And I looked at the manual calculations, and we were over VIX by 1.98. So we missed a vol event by 0.02. I do think, though, we've been over VIXing for the past week. So I think like the skew issues that I had are mostly solved. I mean, somewhat, I guess. But but it's still, it's still not a great situation. And at some point, I think Wednesday, I think the Tuesday close will determine how the rest of the week goes.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of setting up myself as well, was basically take today and tomorrow, play level to levels, right? It's exactly what I did, was traded 63.20, 63.50 basically overnight. And then I called it an evening. I wish I actually stayed up this time, Wiz, because that would have been a hell of a trade. I already would have called it a day. But if we jump into Gamma here, I mean, going on that point, what I was getting to is level to level, wait until OPEX, quarterly OPEX kind of comes by here, that close Tuesday. You'll see better trades set up. It's a shortened week as well, so don't forget about that. Friday, as we discussed, you still have NFP data coming out with the market close, so that should be interesting. So Wiz, when we look at Gamma here, to me, if I'm kind of looking at this, price kind of pinned in here, which is we look at 64.30 and 64.40 to the upside. A lot of negative Gamma in between here, specifically at 6,400 and 6,390. And then you got positive Gamma here at 63.75. So
yeah, one thing I wanted to mention is we had a lot of, you would say, positive Gamma below before from all those vol sellers, and they were mostly for the end of the quarter. That has since either rolled. I have to check to see if it rolled or if they just bought their puts back, which is how we got that VIX pop. Honestly, like that's probably the best case scenario, probably why we're rallying today, is because VIX, people bought their puts back, probably at a loss on Friday, maybe at a loss, maybe at a gain. I don't know if because most of that expired tomorrow. So I don't know how, I don't know how that would have gone, but they bought back their puts and VIX jumped because of it. And then we bounced. So that was kind of encouraging, I guess, to see a little bit of a pop, right? So yeah, I think that with Gamma, I mean, these are all in the money puts. Like customers are long puts, so we need this rally into the end of the month in order to get some, in order to keep really sustain the market. Because if this doesn't succeed and we don't end up over 6,500 tomorrow close, then we're going to tank again, probably a little lower. So also SPX is down like 7% in the year, right? Well, I guess now like 6.5%. So many funds and portfolios aren't doing great so far. So
no. But yours is. So this is an ideal time for you to, land a spot about your fund, Wiz. Why don't you talk about that?
Come into the Discord. We'll talk about that privately. I'm not really allowed to announce it, but yes, we're doing fine.
Great. All right, let's jump in here before I get Wiz in trouble with the law. So going back here, so in general, I'm bullish, as I said, above 6,400. There's a few levels of importance there. We continue to hold up above that, but I am watching the rejection here, and especially if you get any catalysts, I wouldn't be shocked if you get almost, a charge back, especially break below 6,400 here, Wiz, to go test the lows of the session. I'm not saying it's happening today as 0DT, but I would watch for how we rally. Where do we rally towards? How does it consolidate there? What does the VIX do in terms of volatility at these higher levels? But that's essentially what I'm looking for here. Is I'm potentially looking for a reversion trade as we get higher into kind of this stack of Greeks. But any guidance in terms? Well, I'll pull up some zero DTE here charts. But any guidance on the week you want to share for the
Yeah, I
for
mean,
the traders?
I will wait for tomorrow because I mean I'm staring down 6,500 in particular, that we need to break that level before the close tomorrow, and it seems possible. What's it implying now? 64.20.
What now? Where is it at right now? Yeah, 64.25.
64.25. So yeah, I mean, it's possible, and it's only 75 points in 2 days, right? We did get a lot of overvixing over the past week, so there is some juice. You could say it just kind of evened out the prior undervixing, but
Well, I was just gonna say, even like today's rally, if you look at where spot vol is at right now, once it loads here, I mean, you're already at a negative 0.84,
yeah,
right? So, these swings in spot volatility is moving extremely fast, extremely quick, and unfortunately, this is just not like if you're just swinging long or swinging short, this is just not
reload.
that market yet. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is too is a lot of the, you could tell it's unstable because the pre-market is not holding. Like right now we have negative 0.87, but vol is well, forgive the pun. Vol is volatile, right, in the intraday, right? So, and it all depends on kind of like news or really oil prices. It's kind of it's a very clear inverse correlation between equity markets and the oil prices. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, like that negative 0.87, we could be over VIX by the end of the day. And most of the time, like in kind of dealer controlled markets, that like negative 0.87 sticks through the whole day, right? So that's kind of, so it is a little bit, I don't want to say treacherous because that's a strong term, but it is, I mean, dealers don't have control of the market as of right now. The oil markets do. So you just have to, that's just what to watch for at this point.
Yeah. I mean, again, set yourself up for mean reversion, right? And if you think a 25-point range is mean reversion, this is not that market. All right. We're talking about 75 plus 100 plus points. That's the kind of mean reversion you're looking at. If we quickly just look at zero DTE here for today, I mean, you clearly see you've got a couple of key strikes with positive charm here at 6,500 and 6,370. You clearly have negative charm here at 6,440 and 6,470 and then 6,490. So you can see, negative charm below spot here as well. So when we look at that and then go into our zero DT delta decay, and I'll pull these back up for you, Wiz, to take a look. I mean, you can clearly see what 64.25 is doing, and which is why we're right now having a little bit of a hard time trying to, sludge through that level. But any thoughts, and let me know which you want me to go to.
Yeah, as soon as we drop below 64, what is that? 64.25, 64.25, 20. When we drop below that, I mean, then that turns red. That's become a little bit of a magnet. However, if it does break out, you can, we're probably going to have some hard times getting up because all that delta decay flips. So hey, this might be a mini top, right? Or magnet. So
yeah,
that's kind of what it looks like so far, but we haven't had any zero DTE traffic yet. So you kind of have to wait. Kind of have to wait a little bit to make a solid, like kind of closing number. So
that's right. There'll be a lot of activity here at the open. And
Yeah,
as
probably.
always, look at the higher time frames. Those are going to guide you a little bit better, especially in these high volatile times, which
Mhm.
the VIX is holding above 27 right now, VIX futures. So
Yeah.
we did reject 29. It got up to 29 in the overnight session. So keep an eye on that as well.
All right. All right. Let's see. We got a few questions this morning. Good morning, Patel. The trading guy. Given a short week, how should we be looking at vol given the almost over VIX event? Same theta, less vol, so long gamma trades. I mean, we are in a negative gamma regime. Long gamma is, I mean, I think like on the short, like intraday, maybe before Friday time frame, you might want to look at long gamma trades. I kind of have to wait and see a little bit. Like I have to see until after to see how 6,500 reacts at the close tomorrow. And then I would get into long gamma trades. So that's just my kind of thing. I've sized down a little bit and, that's kind of how I'm trading now, since dealer positioning is maybe a secondary thought, right? So same theta, less vol, long gamma trades. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you kind of have to also see what the vol is on the, and I also don't know if you're talking about swing or intraday too. Like there's a lot of questions I have about that question. But yeah, I mean, overall, I have been doing like long gamma, but not very long gamma, like out of the money calendars on the downside. And I hedge with out of the money butterflies on the upside now. Like as I'm making money going down, I don't want to make too much money. I do want to hedge because I want to protect whatever I collect. That's really that's the hedge fund style, though. That's not necessarily retail style. So, so I'm kind of like more gamma neutral, I guess you could say. But I do need a swing in order to make money. So, good morning, Wiz and DM. Thanks for doing this. You're welcome. You're welcome, Nile. You're welcome.
Don't forget to like and subscribe now.
So, been reading how Wiz trades his butterflies, selling bearish swings, etc. Can you go over an example? We don't have a ton of time to do it, but on the Volland Academy, that is vol.land/academy, one of the Wiz's trade plans is my Delta Butterfly. Go there. That's where you'll see an example. You got to go to Wiz's swing trade plans. And you go to Delta. Oh, where's my Delta Butterfly? Delta Butterfly disappeared. But I think like you'll see at the money butterfly, you could see that kind of stuff too. I'll do a Delta Butterfly. I've got to write that down now. Make sure that my Delta Butterfly is on the Academy.
It's a good thing I went, I know. I saved you from being incorrect.
You saved me from being incorrect. No, I was
right. You're gonna send someone there and it's not gonna be there, but no.
Yeah, it's not gonna be there. Yeah. So I'll have to put something up. All right.
But definitely do check out for everyone, Volland Academy, definitely lots of good material here if you are curious how Wiz others use the resources that is Volland. Please come and check it out here.
Yeah. All right. But anyway, the one thing I will say, Patel, and this is just kind of like my big rule of thumb when I'm trading options on any tenor. If you're making an adjustment, I guess you could say the prerequisites for making an adjustment are your thesis is still intact, right? Like, I think the market will go up, but the market goes down, but I still think the market will go up for whatever your thesis reason is. If your thesis stays intact, adjust in such a way that you're collecting profits, okay? Even if you have like a single option, like a single long naked option, turn it into a butterfly that gives you more room on the down, doesn't require as much of a bounce or something like that. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can collect, take money off the table and yet lever higher on your trade. So that is really the kind of the standard of doing your adjustments. So, like on a butterfly, let's say market goes in an opposite direction of your butterfly. If you sell the wing that is profitable, you are doubling, sometimes tripling up on your thesis, but at a fraction of the price. And that's really, how you can truly like make money just trading options, like just using the option dynamics. So, all right. Do JPM collar trades provide strong strikes to anchor and trade around, trying to see if there's a way to use that information? So many times, honestly, yes. Because those have such high OI, they are, particularly the long put and the short call can be magnets, right? And that's why, that's 64.75 is kind of a, that'd be tough to really get past to get 6,500, which would be really tough to get past, right? So that's kind of where I see like a peak, mainly because of the JPM collar strike. What to do when you trade those? I mean, dealers don't sit there and target the JPM collar in order to, hedge, right? That's just one trade. And that OI, it's like 40K OI or something now, Jay. That OI gets wiped out in like the first 3 hours of zero DTE volume anyway. So you kind of, you can sit there and look at it, and it's definitely something to watch for, but it is not by any means it's not a panacea. You don't just like you don't just put a butterfly 3 months out around 64.75 and think that you've made a business. You have to. There are a lot of things. There are a lot of other trades to take into account at the same time. So, all right. All right. And thank you. All right. So that's the last question. All right. 912. Any kind of last words of encouragement there, Dark Matter?
Level to level, just stay on your tippy toes. This is just a little bit too volatile.
Toes.
Yeah, that's how I trade now these days. Like, oh my God. No, just be safe out there. Lots of volatility, expect large moves. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Just get out of the way. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
I'm still stuck on tippy toes. I don't know what you're doing on your tippy toes. That seems anxious, man.
I am very anxious for this market,
All right. Thank you, everybody. And may Volland help you in your future trading ventures.